About everything related to the home, buying or selling real estate, financing and improvements that can help increase your home's value. This is Minnesota Home Talk on Score North. Here's your host, Jason Walgrave.
Good morning, folks, and welcome back. This is Minnesota Home Talk, and we're live on Score.
No, I'm 1500 ESPN.
1500 ESPN. We're back.
We're back.
So apparently we've never left 1500.
Oh,
ESPN.
golly. Are we going to do
we
this?
Haven't.
We never left.
Evan, for years now, has condemned the 1500 ESPN mentioned.
I just do what the branding department tells me to do. All right.
Folks, this is Minnesota Home Talk. We're live every Saturday morning, of course, on demand at minnesotahometalk.com. Be sure to check out our website. I'm your host, Jason Walgrave, with Walgrave Real Estate Group and the Minnesota Real Estate Team at RE/MAX Advantage Plus. In studio is the great Mortgage Michael Overson with Illuminate Home Loans. Of course, we have the great producer, Evan. He's also an insurance expert, genius in the realm of insurance.
All
Insurance
true.
monarch.
Yeah. And we have new to the show, a very dear friend of mine, Kit Fucile with The Locker Room. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning.
Great to have you.
I'm happy to be here.
We all made it in successfully with the road closures. Overson almost didn't show up again.
I had to put in 4-wheel drive.
I just go through the ditch.
Had to go off-road a little bit to get here this morning.
But I made it.
Oh, and we've got the Yoda. Folks, everyone remembers and knows the Yoda of real estate, Steve Perkins. Steve, are you on the line? He's
It would help if I turned on his thing. Hey, Steve, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
There we go. Nice.
Steve,
Okay.
Good morning. How are you?
Well, pretty good. Great to be here.
It's great to have you here.
Steve is joining us from sunny South Dakota.
Sunny South Dakota.
Very sunny over there.
A little cool out here in South Dakota this morning.
A little cool here.
It's a little cool here, too. It's nice, so we'll take it. We'll have plenty of hot weather this summer. Folks, we got a big show planned this morning. We're going to be talking about market updates. We've got, we're giving away a pair of St. Paul Saints tickets and a $50 gift card to go along with that, so you can buy Overson's favorite food at the Saints game, which is the ice cream sandwiches.
Yep.
And
Two at a time. Yep.
Double fist ice cream sandwiches.
Yep.
So give us a call with your real estate questions, anything and everything real estate related. The phone lines are open at 651-647-2910 is the call number to the studio. Are we doing text mostly? Is that what we're shooting for?
Yeah. Can't call in right now because Steve's calling in right now. So if you got a question for us this morning, text it in 763-443-5664 to text in your questions to get a chance to win those St. Paul Saints tickets. Best real estate question in the morning wins. One more time, that's 763-443-5664 to text in your real estate related question to win a pair of St. Paul Saints tickets.
Anything and everything real estate related, Saints tickets, and $50 to enjoy a game on us. Text line again, 763-443-5664. We'll keep that text line open throughout the show. The best real estate questions going to win. Anything and everything real estate related, buying, selling, investing, questions about financing, your credit score, credit improvement, new construction, commercial real estate. And this morning, very excited to be talking to Kit Fucile with The Locker Room about coaching, not only for real estate professionals, but life coaching as well. We got a lot to talk about, Kit.
We do.
We have known each other for a very long time.
Yes, we have.
Again, text line is open. Shoot us your questions to win St. Paul Saints tickets and a $50 gift card to 763. The text line again is 763-443-5664. Text your questions to win 763-443-5664. Look at that. We got all the video up. Man, feeling good this morning.
Yeah. Too bad that old South Dakota internet doesn't work in Minnesota here.
You know, I'm not gonna blame him for this one. Definitely something on our end.
Is it on our end?
Definitely
Oh,
on
okay.
our end. Yeah.
Dang it. I'd like to give
I'll
Steve
be
a hard
sending-
time about
I'll be sending a strongly worded email to our
strongly
engineer.
worded email.
Strong word.
Mhm.
All right, folks. Again, phone lines open. If you'd like to win St. Paul Saints tickets on us, give us a call with your real estate question. Text line is 763-443-5664. We've got 9 questions to ask when choosing a realtor. We've got market updates. We're going to be talking to Kit. We've got the Yoda of real estate, Steve Perkins, on the phone. Mr. Overson's going to give us all of the mortgage updates, what's going on in the world of mortgage financing. And then, of course, we have our insurance expert, Evan, who is also the producer expert. Producer.
I have a little spiel to go on
Let's
this
hear
week,
it.
but we can save it. We'll do it at the end of this first part.
So we're teasing it now.
We're teasing it now. Just a little primer on how to handle storm claims, because I've had a few off of the recent ones. I'm sure I'm going to have more. Everyone's now out examining their roofs and stuff, and I have just kind of, if you haven't been through it before, I'm going to walk you through the broad basics with every insurance carrier.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
we got a lot to talk about. Should we do smoking hot listings?
Let's do them.
Hang on. Where's my mouse? Yep. Yep. This one.
All right, folks. Hot listings for the week. We are going to start in
Prior Lake.
Fantastic new properties, a brand new listing in Prior Lake on Fish Lake, located at 20755 Addison Drive, 2.5 acres with lake frontage. This home has 4,000 square feet, 4-bedroom, 4-bathroom. It is brand new on the market, only a couple days on the market for $899. Again, you've got water frontage on Fish Lake, but it's also on a 2.5 acre lot. Fantastic property in Prior Lake. 20755 Addison Drive on the market for $899. We've got a new listing in Victoria, located at 1555 Fox Hunt Way. This is a 3-bedroom, 4-bathroom. Folks, this is a really nice townhome with a basement. We've got a ton of square footage. This property is on the market for $364,900 end unit. And again, that's located in Victoria at 1555 Fox Hunt Way. Moving over to Edina, we've got nope, not Edina. Oh, this is Newport. We've got a lot for sale. Folks, are you interested in a vacant lot for sale in Newport, Minnesota, located at 1864 Hastings Avenue? This lot is zoned for up to 4 units. You can build 1 to 4 units on it. Great opportunity for an investment property. Even if you want to just buy and sit, this is a lot that's priced really competitive at $49,000. Almost a little over a 1/4 acre, and again, that's located in Newport, Minnesota, 1864 Hastings. Where are we at here?
It's our Galleria.
There's our Galleria property. This is a condo in Edina. Incredible skyline views. This property is a 1-bedroom, 2-bathroom, completely renovated, all high-end finishings throughout. It's located at 3209 Galleria, number 807 in Edina, Minnesota. This property is on the market, priced to sell at $599,000. Fantastic views.
And amenities.
Want to talk about views, folks? You have to check out this new listing we have in Afton, Minnesota, located at 15616 Upper 34th Street South. We have St. Croix River views. It sits on top of the bluffs. This property is a spectacular home. There's only 3 homes at the top of the bluffs, and you've got land, you've got space. The home has a really cool design, vaults, and it is priced really competitive at $750,000. Evan, what's the? You move the screen down just a touch, so I get the bedrooms. There we go. 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, 2,863 square feet. And again, incredible views of the St. Croix River.
Just hop on your hang glider, head down to the river.
Hang glider, or you could build a zip line.
Yep.
You could build a zip line.
Perfect.
In Red Wing, Minnesota, this property, we have it newly relisted with a new price of $1.5 million, 27858 Greens Point Road in Red Wing. This property has 425 feet of shoreline. It's in the Lake Pepin area. Absolutely spectacular property. It's a pagoda-style home built in the 1920s. It is ready for renovation or redevelopment of this property, and it is on the market price to sell at $1.5 million in Red Wing, Minnesota.
probably unbeatable shoreline on that lake.
Wow.
It is incredible. It's incredible.
Unique property.
It is really unique. Super
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Moving over to
New Prague.
New Prague. Would you like some lakeshore? Here is a lakeshore property on Cedar Lake, located at 24195 West Cedar Lake Drive. It is a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom. Great shoreline. You've got a wonderful dock, a fantastic property, either second home or maybe it's your primary residence. On the market for $449,900. You can own lakeshore close to the metro for $449,900. Great property, ready to move into. Our next property, we're going to move to Docks Harbor. Investment opportunity in Aiken, Minnesota, on the north shores of Mille Lacs, located at 39629 State Highway 18. I think we're 32 RV sites. We've got, 26 boat slips. This property is an investment opportunity, spring-fed bay, and it is ready for a new owner to live that resort-style lifestyle. On the market for $2.5 million. Docks Harbor.
I think Kit should buy this.
Yeah.
Kit's Harbor. That's got a ring to it.
Kitts Harbor. Let's
Hey.
change it to Kitts Harbor.
Right?
There we go. Fishing at Kitts Harbor.
That's right.
Actually, you should buy it over. So then in the winter, you can run some ice fishing business up there.
Yeah.
A whole lot of opportunity.
Call it Mikey's Harbor.
Mikey's
Mikey's
Harbor.
Yeah.
Mikey.
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 Yoda in the background. Coming for the clothes.
Oh, I love it. All right. Pebble Creek Custom Homes is a to-be-built in Savage, Minnesota, located at 146XX Sumter Avenue. This is a spectacular Rambler, 2,400 square foot foundation. It is on the market for $995,000. This is a home we built in the wilds a few years ago. One of our favorite floor plans, really incredible design, custom finishings, high-end millwork, and finishings throughout. This property is on the market for $995,000. That's in the Twin Ponds development in Savage, Minnesota, Prior Lake Savage School District.
Like I always say, there's only one problem with that floor plan.
It's not yours?
That's right.
That's right.
I don't live there.
Pebble Creek Custom Homes has another to-be-built in Prior Lake, Minnesota, in the Cardinal Overlook development. This is located at 16080 Sims Court Southeast, right across the street from the Twin Oaks and Hidden Oaks Middle School. Actually, that's exactly where I'm going right after the show to watch a little track meet.
Nice.
So great location. This is a 2-story on the market, to be built on the market for $950,000. This development is a 9-lot cul-de-sac development, all half-acre walkout lots, and it's surrounded by a 12-acre preserve. So you've got some privacy. Really cool development in Prior Lake, Minnesota. For more information about these smoking hot listings, folks, you can go to our website, minnesotahometalk.com. Click on the property search button. You can request a free market analysis, and that is myself or one of the professionals on my team will do a market analysis on your home. This is something that we can do over the phone, 10 or 15 minutes, or we'd love to come out and meet with you and get a quick tour and then provide a accurate market analysis. Oh, we've got one more. That's right. Jennifer on the team. She has got a new listing located at Pillsbury Avenue, 4442 Pillsbury Avenue South. New listing, fantastic property on the market for $375,000. I believe, let's see, 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. We've got 1903 built with 1,288 square feet. This one has an open house. I think today. We'll pull that up in a second.
It is today, and let me double check the time. I think it's early this afternoon. Let me see here.
Again, located at 4442 Pillsbury Avenue South in Minneapolis.
2 to 4 today.
2 to 4 today. If you'd like to go to an open house, folks, this one is available today, 2 to 4.
And the listing price on that one, I don't know if we said it, $375,000.
$375,000.
Yep.
I like what they did with the living room, the great room, where they
Yeah.
just opened up the ceiling like that. That's really cool.
I think it's a really bold choice.
I do too.
It
I
looks
like it.
it looks really interesting.
It does. It's something you'd see in maybe a condo conversion.
Mhm.
You just don't see that in single family homes. I really like it.
I do too. Makes
Very
it feel
true.
really, really modern.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Great kitchen, new cabinets.
So anyway, I cut
Fantastic
you off. You were talking about a really pretty decent website.
We've got a fantastic website.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Minnesota
Hey, there
Home
it is
Talk.
right there.
There it is right there. MinnesotaHometalk.com. You can connect with all of our fantastic partners on the show. Free property search, free market analysis on your home. You connect directly with Mike Overson at Illuminate Home Loans. And we have our 24-hour real estate hotline number at the top. We'd love to connect with you anyway. Either call us, text us, or go to our website and shoot us an email. Folks, we got the phone lines open. We have the text lines open if you'd like to win a pair of tickets to the St. Paul Saints game and a $50 gift card to buy ice cream sandwiches that are Mike Overson's favorite. He eats a lot of ice cream sandwiches. Actually, you don't really eat much ice cream anymore.
No.
But let me get the text number before I go into the ice cream story.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. So to win St. Paul Saints tickets, give us a question. You can text that to 763-443-5664. That is the text line. St. Paul Saints tickets and a $50 gift card on us for the best real estate question, anything and everything real estate related. The text lines are open. 763-443-5664. The text line again to win St. Paul Saints tickets is 763-443-5664. All right. Overson, as many of you know, so I have 3 younger brothers. Mr. Overson has 3 older sisters. And so Overson growing up spent more time at our house than he did at his house.
Yep.
For a number of reasons. One, because we were more fun.
Yes.
He's the 5th brother. And so at his house, I think his sisters used to dress him up in dresses and stuff. And I don't think he appreciated that.
I didn't.
So he ran and was at our house much of the time. And he used to eat a lot of ice cream. Folks, Overson would come over. Remember the gallon jugs of ice cream?
Yeah.
He'd grab a gallon jug and he would
Pull up with a spoon.
Yep. And he'd eat that thing. And cereal, boxes of cereal and mixing bowls.
It was cereal and ice cream. You mix them together. It was the best. And it was even better because it was the Jason's ice cream that I was eating.
Absolutely.
And not mine.
Right.
Right.
It made it much better.
Right.
It was a free lunch.
Even after I hid the ice cream in the back of the freezer, Overson would find it. And
Oh, yeah.
eat all the ice cream. All right, folks. Phone lines are open. Text lines are open. If you'd like to text questions this morning, we're giving away St. Paul Saints tickets. Text lines are 763. Text us your real estate question, anything and everything real estate related at 763-443-5664. 763-443-5664.
And we did get a text question.
I have a question.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh boy.
All right.
They're all pouring in.
They're pouring.
Yeah. So if you got one, 763-443-5664. Mary texted us. She asks, Mike, I'm getting ready to pay off my mortgage with a lump sum. What's the process? What questions do I ask the mortgage company? Do I file the final payoff paper with the county? Thanks.
Yeah, Mary, that is a good question. So what I would do is make sure you contact your mortgage company and actually get a payoff, because what the balance you see online or on your statement is not going to be the actual payoff amount, because there's usually that principal balance there plus some interest building up. So make sure you get a formal payoff statement from them so you know the exact amount that you need to send them to pay it off on a particular day. And then you're going to want to get what's called a satisfaction of mortgage. So they're going to send you something that basically is proof that you have paid it off in full. So then just make sure that you have them send that out to you as well. That's usually mailed out. After that payment is made, you'll probably get that 2 to 4 weeks probably after you make that final payment on it. So those are the two things. Get a formal payoff statement so you know the amount to send them, and then keep your eye open for that satisfaction of mortgage that'll come out, and you'll be good to go.
That's a great question, Mary. One thing that many of our clients are doing when they're in your situation where they're about ready to pay the mortgage off or the mortgage is paid off is they'll get a hold of Mike Overson and they'll set up a home equity line of credit so that they have access to the equity if they need it. They're not necessarily going to use it or draw on it, but they have it there. And if you own your home free and clear, it's a great way to just position yourself. So if you need cash, that you have it available and it's ready to go.
Yep. It's one of my tips that I give to everyone that I work with who's nearing retirement, because when you get a home equity line of credit, you have to qualify, right?
Mhm.
So you have to be able to show that you can make the payments if you draw from it. So let's qualify for that home line of credit. Let's open it up while you're still working, while you have the income to qualify. Once you go into retirement, if you need money, you can just grab it. You don't have to requalify at that point. So I just recommend open up the biggest line of credit you can against your house before you go into retirement, so you have access to that money. You only pay in what you use. So if you never use it, you don't pay any interest on it. It's just great. It's a great way to go.
Yeah, it's a great way to go. Great question, Mary. Thanks for texting in the question. Text lines are open at 763-443-5664. If you'd like to win St. Paul Saints tickets and a $50 gift card, give us a text with your question, anything, everything real estate related. Text lines are 763. They are open at 763-443-5664. Kit Fucile, we have known each other since 1999.
Oh, did you have to think about that?
That's a long time. Long time.
99.
So, 99.
Before Y2K.
It was. That's right. Right before. Remember that? Everyone thought, or many people thought, the world was going to end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y2K.
Well,
So I got my real estate license in 1999. And after completing my courses and taking the test, I went out and I interviewed 5 different real estate companies. Edina Realty, Century 21, Remax Council Realty, and then Coldwell Banker Burnett. And Kit, you were the manager at the Burnsville office of CBB,
Yes,
as we used to call it in Burnsville. And I had met with the other 4 companies. I sat down and met with you. And after that meeting, made the decision to join Coldwell Banker because of you, because you were the manager. And over the last 20 plus years, our friendship has grown. We spent a tremendous amount of time in business, and I'm so grateful for all the things that you've done for me and my family and my business. And it's really cool to have you here today.
I'm excited to be here.
I know, right? All the way in St. Paul, because you drove, what would it take you?
An hour.
An hour? Did it take you an hour from
Just
Newburgh?
about, yeah.
Boy.
And so it's awesome to have you. You have had a incredible career and successful career over the years in real estate, owning real estate company before you moved to Minnesota that you sold, management, selling tons and tons of real estate. And now you are a nationally recognized real estate and life coach.
Yes.
And so it is, it's been really amazing to watch that happen over the years. And we're very thankful for you to be a part of our team and helping our agents and helping us grow. So thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you. What an introduction.
So tell us a little bit about, let's start with the locker room.
Yeah,
Tell us about the locker
absolutely.
room and what you do there and how you help. And folks, if you're listening to the show, if you're a real estate agent or you're a mortgage professional or you're looking for life coaching, Kit is here to help. And so the locker room, I'd love to know more about that.
Absolutely. So the locker room was born actually in South Carolina with a gentleman by the name of Jake Dixon. And he was a productivity coach in a national firm. And what we found, here's some unfortunate stats for the industry, is that 87% of the people who get their licenses actually wash out of the business.
Wow.
And we've seen that over the years.
Yep.
Just people come in they want the Fs, they want the freedom, the flexibility, and the finances, and nobody tells them really what the business is. So that's how the locker room was born. It was born to serve what we call the blue ocean, which is the folks that are again, only 3% of agents actually sell more than 24 homes a year,
Wow.
which would equate to about, a decent, anywhere between $80,000 to $100,000.
Yeah.
So the reason we were born is to help those agents, so help the people who, again, came into the industry with goals and aspirations. And so we come alongside their brokers and offer them help and support. So we offer the brokers support in areas of productivity, growth, retention, profitability. And so we help them with systems, and then we also help their agents. So come alongside them, and again, they get into the business. Nobody told them what they were supposed to do in real estate school, and the brokers are wearing so many different hats.
Right.
They literally wear, anywhere from being a psychologist to a, to a legal support, to coaching, sales, and then trying to keep an eye out on what's happening in the marketplace. So a lot of times brokers are living in a place of overwhelm. So we come again beside them as partners, help them with their business models and their agents.
Yeah.
To realize the lives that they want to have, which obviously as we all know, that if life isn't going well for you in other parts of of who you are as a being, then business will suffer.
Right.
So I don't believe you can really separate the two. If you're helping somebody support and grow their business, that their life isn't separated
Right.
from that.
Right.
You know, what happens at home, wasn't into business. What happens health wise goes into business. So
yeah, it's a balance, and and having success in life is having success in all those different areas.
Absolutely.
It's I went to college. My main goal going to college was to make sure that I had a job that I loved.
Yeah.
And my parents are farmers and they own small business owners, and so I grew up in this entrepreneurial spirit. I knew I was never going to work a 9-to-5 job because that's not how I was raised.
Yeah.
But I also knew that I had to do something that I loved, that I had a passion for. So, and real estate has been that.
Yeah.
So you chose a career where you work basically like 6 to 8 instead of 9 to 5.
No, it's more like 4 to 4.
All right, yeah.
Right? 4 to 4.
Yeah,
4.
Jason didn't work long hours.
Yeah.
Because you're up at what, 4:30 every morning?
4:30.
And then one of the things with this business, it's like you might not be quote unquote working, but you're kind of always on call.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the thing with it is, it's everyone looks at it, or not, maybe not everyone, but there's this aura of like, oh, all you do is the fun part. You go take people out and show homes and celebrate with them. That's all you do. It's definitely not that.
No, that's interesting. It's a great point because we talk to people often that are thinking about getting into real estate or they're thinking about getting into the mortgage industry, and that's that's what they think is most common. No, because that's what they see, right?
Yeah,
on social media, HGTV.
Yeah.
Show a couple houses, everyone's happy and smiling. You get an offer accepted. You go to closing, everybody makes money, and that's a very, very small part of the business.
Yeah, see, what people don't know is that they should be getting into insurance if they want that kind of experience. Because obviously people are always happiest when talking to their insurance agent.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Mike, you brought up a great point there, because most people, if they're coming from a 9 to 5 or not coming from familiar with an entrepreneurial world and they get into the real estate business, they don't understand it's a true calling. It's really a calling of serving people. It has nothing to do with brick and mortar. Yes, you need to know a little bit about brick and mortar, but really it's about serving people and the greatest, product, so to speak, that they're going to buy in their lives. And the other thing that is really great about the real estate business is I don't have to own my product to sell it. If I was going to be a running shoe salesperson or open a bookstore, I have to have product and then compete against such, large entities. So, from the ability to make a good living and provide legacy for families, this is an amazing business. But it's also understand that it's a true calling.
Yes. And it is a business. And if you want to be successful, you have to run it like a business, and that part is so important as well. And having a plan, having partnerships in place, Kit, like you and your team to help determine and identify what the goal is, and then how to achieve the goal, and it's, I hear comments, people are thinking about getting real estate. Oh, I want to get real estate for the flexibility. I want flexibility in my schedule. And I mean, there's some truth to that, but that means you're going to have to get up at 4 a.m,
right,
to have the flexibility that you're wanting. And it is a wonderful business. It has tremendous opportunity, but you have to do it right. And you have to partner and surround yourself with the right people to be successful.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was gonna say some people thrive with the flexibility, right? And some people it's the dagger. It kills them, right? And so it really depends on what you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. And so, there's a lot that comes down to time and effort that goes in. You're going to reap the rewards on the back end.
Yeah.
Sure, some things might just fall in your lap if you're in it long enough, but it's really the consistency of the time and the effort that you put into it to build that business, and then you get the snowball effect rolling as you get clients in there, you get repeat clients and so on and so forth. So yeah, it's not all glitz and glamour that you see, like you said, on HGTV and stuff like that. And it's like I said, what you put into it is what you get out of it.
Absolutely. Kit, tell me a little bit about an agent calls you up and says, I want to hire you and your team. What can they expect? What's the process, and what is the kind of the outline of how you can help them.
Absolutely. Great question, Jason. Thank you. So yes, if I get called by a broker, an agent, a team, the first we're going to do is really go into what we call a business audit. And there's 12 different kind of, if I dissect it into a kind of slice it in a pie, like 12 different areas that a business kind of manifests. So it's prospecting, lead follow-up, marketing, all the fundamentals of a real estate business. So we'll go through an audit in that, and then I'll really get into the story. Why do they want to grow? Where do they want to go? And how do they want to serve? And so I'll, in an initial consult, give them some kind of tips and things that they can do. But really, I want to find out whether or not we're a partner, whether or not we're a good match. People will reach out, not because they say, gee, I think I'm going to wake up today and hire a coach, right? It's not like their first thoughts, but it is, I have a dream and I want to get somewhere and help other people. And I need a roadmap, and I need perspective, and I need somebody else to give me a swift smack in the face sometimes or kick in the pants, just to say, hey, this is what you said you want. This is why you want it, and stay on that path. So really, it starts out with a really good interview. I want to make sure we get to know each other, and that the style of coaching that we do, which is, again, what we call whole life coaching. We're going to look at all aspects of not just the business, but kind of audit the person itself, make sure we're in alignment, and then we paint the picture and we paint what's possible. And then, do you have the right people on the right team? Do you have the right, people that support you? There's either people who tear you up or tear you up down or build you up. And we want to make sure that you have the right team to help grow where you want to go. So it's really just starts with the process of a conversation and making sure we're in alignment. And when I mean alignment, that we are, that the team and the growth is not it's for service sake. Right.
And it's a two-way interview.
Yes.
Similar to
100%.
what we do when we're interviewing new agents. I mean, if we interview 10 agents, maybe one gets an offer to join our team. And because it, and same with you, you're interviewing them as much as they're interviewing you. And, can you help them? And what does that look like? So it is exciting. And, Kit, I often get asked from new agents, what's your advice? What's the key to this business? And I have, three responses. Number one is hard work. Number two is consistency. So in the advertising, the marketing, whatever you're doing, consistency, prospecting. And then number three is what you taught me when I first got in the business. You said, Jason, master your schedule and you will master this business.
100%.
And so it is so critical, especially we're in an independent contractor world where no one's telling you go clock in 9 to 5 or you need to be here at this time and do this. You got to master your schedule. And if you can, you'll master the business.
100%. And it even goes beyond schedule, right? It's master of self, because we all have 24 hours in a day, 7 days a week, and it's mastering oneself in relation to time.
I love it. Folks, we got the text lines open. If you'd like to win some tickets to the St. Paul Saints game, give us a text to 763-443-5664. The text line again is 763-443-5664 to win St. Paul Saints tickets and a $50 gift card. Give us a question, anything, everything real estate related. You can text that question to 763-443-5664. Steve, the Yoda of real estate, Perkins.
Yeah.
You have a comment. Oh, no, Evan's got what do you got?
I got a text question. And actually, I think this is a good question for Steve to chip in on. So John texted us. He's asking, he owns a lot in the East Metro, and he's interested in purchasing the adjacent lot and the home on it. But he doesn't know the owner. The owner is an investor and doesn't come out to the property much. He found him on the county records, but has never talked to the guy. What is the best way to approach that current owner to try and combine those two properties?
Well, what I would do, John, is I would call me. and then I will find out who it is and what their number is and give them a call. But I have clients all year long where they're driving around and they see a property and they text me the address and say, Jason, I'm interested in buying this property. And we'll look up who owns it. If it's owned by an LLC, we can dig deeper, find out who the individuals are. We find their email, their text, or their cell phone, and we give them a call. Would you be interested in selling your property? And so if that's something, John, that you're interested in, we can help out with that. Absolutely. And you'd be surprised, maybe not surprised right now, but in the last year, we've sold more off-market properties than probably
Yeah.
the previous 5 years combined.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
we're
I would
doing
agree.
a lot of business off market, just like this. Someone drives by and says, I want that property. Jason, find out who it is and if they'll sell it. So all those are things we can help with.
Good question.
That's good. That's good advice to John, I think, Jason, because, you might as well use a professional in this. And unless you've got some really good negotiating skills and meeting skills, particularly, if you knew your neighbor and you talk back and forth and stuff, that's a whole different story. But here where you don't know the person, it's good to have somebody that does this for a living. And when you were talking about all those real estate things, I thought, Kit, boy, you really don't pay anymore to have an expert. So, if you're going to have brain surgery, would you want to go to somebody that, I do a couple of these a year, or would you like to go to somebody that says, hey, I do 5 of these a week,
Right.
and it
Yeah.
doesn't cost anymore. So you might as well go with a professional.
Absolutely.
I think that's a fascinating stat. 87% of
Yeah.
that don't make
Mark
it in the
Howard.
business.
And in 2 years, within 2 years,
2 years.
87%. As a matter of
In
fact,
and
there's
out.
1.6 million realtors right now in the United States,
Wow.
which the last stat I heard was that it was more than 4 times the number of homes on the market in America.
Jeez.
So if
Yeah.
every agent sold a house, they'd sell a quarter of a house.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Quarter of a house.
Yep. Yep. And then you look,
Tough.
the 80-20 rule applies in real estate.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, it does.
Yeah.
Yep. 20% of the agents do 80% of the business.
Yeah.
So, and I think, Steve, you bring up a great point. It doesn't cost you anymore to have an expert, and it's, don't you want somebody that does this full time, that has a team that can provide a better service, more service? I do.
Yeah.
I want,
Right.
whether it's brain surgery or a car mechanic, I don't want the guy that, tinkers around on the weekends. I want the guy that's in there every day working on cars to work on my car.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yep. Well, you're dealing with people's
Well, and
lives.
particularly when it doesn't cost you
Yes.
anymore.
right.
If you got the mechanic that tinkers on your car for $10 an hour and you got the specialist at 125, you might gamble a little bit, if it's not your new Mercedes or something. But,
Right.
hey, this is everybody pretty much charges the same in this business. So,
Folks, we got the text lines open. If you'd like to win tickets to St. Paul Saints game, send us a text message to 763-443-5664. 763-443-5664. Overson, I know you got some questions for the Yoda.
Yeah, so we brought the Yoda on today because we're getting a lot of questions now of, hey, where are rates going?
Yeah.
Inflation is at its highest point since the 80s, right? And interest
that's
rates
correct.
hits, 16, 17, 18% back in the 80s. Are we on that track again? I tell them, look, I haven't been in this business that long. I started in 2004. I was barely born back when rates were that high. But I know a guy who
Yoda and I were buying and selling real estate back then.
like
thinking it was a great idea.
I'm like, but I know a guy who's been in real estate since like the Titanic set sail. And so he was living real estate during that time. So I think, Steve, if I remember correctly, you were a licensed agent in the early 70s through the 80s. So you were an active real estate agent during that
That's
time.
very true. That's very true. And it was a very, very tough time. And, you can just see inflation is a very tough tiger to tame. And we're into that right now. It's a good time to frankly be invested in something other than having cash in the bank, because, or in your mattress, because that doesn't grow and it's going to be worth less tomorrow than what it is today. But if you own something, a good piece of property or whatever, inflation will make it worth more. But it's tough to tame, and of course, you have to tame it because some people say, "Well, why don't they just let inflation go?" Well, the problem is today's yesterday's 4% is today's 8%, and tomorrow's 16%, and next week's 32%. And actually, if you look at history, in Germany, where they had hyperinflation in the 30s, they actually paid people 3 and 4 times a day to let them go out and buy something, because bread would be way more expensive, at 4 o'clock than it was at 10 o'clock. And so, can you imagine that, getting paid, on 3-4 times a day to go spend your money?
Wow.
So, now that's super hyperinflation, and we don't want to scare anybody. Clearly these are good times. But I looked at some numbers, Mike, and saying people that want to say, "Oh, I don't want to buy now. I'm going to wait until all this collapses and whatever." And if you actually the rates today 5.5% or so, isn't that where it is, Mike?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, that's lower than what it historically has been. I mean, I've been in the business since the early 70s, as Mike said, and since World War II, since the late 40s, I mean, interest rates have been 6, 7, 8%. In fact, the average interest rates for the last 50 years is 7.78% for 30-year home loan mortgages. So if you think that today's rates are high, it's just because you've been spoiled by historically. I mean, like for the last 500 years, we haven't seen rates, for this long a period of time at that rate.
Yeah, so those are all good points, Steve. And so some of the other questions that come up too is, we have rising interest rates right now, but we also have home prices that are rising. Back in the 80s when they started going up, were home values still going up, or were the higher interest rates back then driving values down a little bit?
Well, it really started in the 70s as and yes, then home values were going on. And if you put your house in the market when I first got into this for the decade of the 70s and it hadn't sold in 30 days, I mean, you were just plain too high priced. But if you waited about 6 months, then you'd be right on. But because things were going up in price and interest rates were 7, 8. Towards the later 70s, they got to like 9%, so yes, we did see that. Now, when the 80s came in and the Feds, really came in, and interest rates, because inflation was 13, 14%, and because of that, they ratcheted rates up, and home rates hit about 17.5, 18%, and believe me, that slowed the market down a lot. Houses didn't fall so much in value. They did fall in value, but it wasn't like, the market was just so slow. I mean, you just really couldn't sell anything.
I was going to point out too, a lot of the conversation around this recently has been, the inflation's the highest since the 1980s. But I mean, you were around for this, Steve. Inflation throughout the 70s was also about where we're at now. Like 1975, it was about 9% on the year. It was considered quote unquote normal in the 70s to have these higher inflation rates, and it peaked in the 80s, and then finally things started being taken seriously. So maybe we're going through a similar cycle right now.
It takes the pot of government spending and money expansion and everything. The early 70s, the 60s, where we had guns and butter and domestic things, the war on poverty, and we also had the Vietnam War going, and we had big deficits, and we were pumping a lot of money into the economy. That kind of went into the 70s, and that laid this thing for, yes, we started inflation at in the mid 70s. I think we were probably more closer to 4 or 5%, but it was moving then, and so inflation is high, and it could go higher, but I think the bigger thing is you look at today's ability. If inflation is 9% and you can lock in a 30-year loan for 5.5%, I don't think you have to go to any rocket school to understand that that's a pretty good deal.
It is. Yeah, it is a good deal. And we've, even in the last 3-4 years where rates have been so low, especially in the last 2 years, we talk about it all the time. If you have mortgage interest rates anywhere in the 5s, that's a good rate.
Absolutely.
It's a good rate. I mean, it isn't this, unnaturally low, COVID driven,
2.75.
I mean, that's not, well, I mean, it was real for 2 years, but it's not real.
It's not sustainable.
It's not sustainable at all. And so anything in the 5s is a good rate. And if you look at historically, appreciation of real estate has outperformed inflation.
Absolutely.
And so you just look at the last 40 years and that, that's a statistical number to consider.
And the one thing too, Jason, for most people is you have to live someplace.
Yes.
So you're either going to be paying rent, and rent goes up with inflation, or you're going to be, in a home that you own where you probably have, if you're smart, you've locked in most of that purchase price on a 25, 30-year loan. So your payment is not going to change, and your interest rate won't change for that period of time. Boy, that's a tremendous advantage as opposed to, living where you might, every time you sign a lease every year, you're probably going to see your rent go up, particularly if we have inflation. So,
yeah, because rents will go up on average 5% a year, 4% a year.
Well, it depends on inflation.
Yeah,
I mean,
depends on
Yeah.
inflation.
sometimes they might go up 10%.
Yeah.
So
In
rent,
Denver right now, I was listening to something last night, and they said 56%. A gal was on the news, and she was paying $1,600. Her rent's going to $2,500 because of inflation, just
Yeah.
because of the pressure. So
Yeah.
We used to have a
It's-
little expression of whether you rent or whether you buy, you pay for the home you
Exactly.
occupy. And that was a 1970s little jingle,
Yeah.
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 That's true.
So you can either, you do a 30-year fixed, you can literally lock your payment in for the next 30 years. Your principal and interest won't change if you do a 30-year fixed.
Yeah.
Your tax insurance will change a little bit, but the bulk of your payments going to stay the same for the next 30 years. The stat is rent doubles every 20 years.
Yeah.
So 20
Yeah.
years down the road, you can either have this payment that's been the same for the last 20 years,
Yeah.
or you got a payment that you're literally paying
Exactly.
double where you started
Right.
at.
Right.
So
And just
So-
the quality of life.
Yes.
I mean, the quality of life of raising a family and building your own wealth. Because, I mean, let's be frank here: 5% of America, the greatest amount of wealth is built in our country through real estate. The top 5% of our country built that with using the buying and selling and product of land.
Yep.
Well, in the stability part, like you just
Yeah.
mentioned, I mean, if you are raising a family, do you want to be in a lease
No.
where you might get noticed to leave because the owner's going to sell, or you have to renew your lease every year or two? I mean, I don't know, that seems stressful, or do you want to buy something and then it's yours as long as you want to be there?
Yeah.
No one's going to tell you to leave because they want more rent or they want to sell it. It creates more stability.
I mean, the sale thing is the big one, right? I've seen that recently. I sent you a good friend of mine who's going through that right now.
Yep.
Landlord decided, you know what? I could just sell this property and someone can move into it and I can walk away and make a cool 100,000 from what I purchased or so.
Yep.
And that means
Yeah,
the
right.
lease can't be renewed. It doesn't matter how much you like the landlord.
No.
That lease is ended one way or another.
Right.
So that kind of instability is pretty annoying.
Renting is a great thing for, when you get really older in life and you want, you don't want any of the cares of ownership, and, you may have to go to some alternative living nursing home or something like that. It's great for those people. Or, whether you're younger or at some point in your life where you don't know where you're going to be in 6 months or a year or even a year and a half, probably buying in those circumstances isn't maybe the best thing. Rent and settle down and get your job settled and whatever. And then, once you've got a little future in that area, then buy something, because whether you rent or whether you buy, you're going to pay for that home. So
I love that.
true story. Steve, so none of us have a crystal ball. You might have one out there in South Dakota. I don't know. I haven't been out there for a while. But if you had to take a guess, how high are mortgage interest rates? So a 30-year fix, how high are rates going to go before they level off, if you will?
boy, that even those that have a great deal of expertise in this can't tell you that, Mike. I mean, I think it's very likely. That's what you can look in probabilities to tame the inflation that we're seeing, because we've got supply problems there. I mean, you just can't buy stuff, even if you had $1,000. You can't, go try to find something, or like a used car now or something. So they just don't. They're just not there. So given that, I think we could well see inflation, continue to rise. I don't know whether it's going to be 10 or 12 or what, but it will, and I think interest rates will probably continue to rise, and it will probably be. I certainly hope we don't see anything, and I don't see a lot of probability that we're going to have something like we had, in the early 80s. But that's probably in my mind, the likelihood is we're going to, it isn't over yet, and but. So So what does that mean? Prepare for it and look at your options. And that's where I just did a study before the show. We were talking, Mike, and say, well, if you look at the next 10 years, what you're going to pay for housing, if you rent versus whether you buy, even if that home goes down in value, if you can finance it at 5.5%, I know I did the numbers and I won't bore you with going through them, but you're going to spend less on a house buying it today at 5.5% interest in over the next 10 years. You're going to spend less on that than you would if you rented for 5 years and the house dropped 20% in value, and so you bought it 20% cheaper. And when you do all the numbers, you're quite a bit money, like $83,000 ahead on a regular $400,000 type home to in the next 10 years to buy now, rather than wait and pay 9.5%. Yeah, and again, remember that historical interest rate over the last 50 years, it's been very close to 8%. So, it's a bargain right now.
We're well below that, right?
Yeah. And I mean, everyone's always hunting for a good deal, right? Any business, right. any sort of transaction, everyone's thinking that traditional frugal idea of, well, if I can get it cheaper, that's better. Well, the cost of waiting isn't even just the fact that you're right. Buying in early and chipping away at it is generally the better financial choice. But there's also the cost of waiting in the sense of, yeah, you know what? Even if you did somehow come up with a situation that you find that same house $100,000 cheaper, some ungodly amount 10 years from now, you have spent 10 years renting and dealing with all of the costs associated with moving the 2 times when your landlord sells the house that you're living in, or any of those things.
Yep.
So it's not even just the loan. You have other factors that just push you more and more in the home ownership direction being favored.
Yeah, it's not like buying a boat, because you don't really need a boat for the next 10 years, but you do need a home.
Boat. So. I need a boat right now.
And a jet ski.
That's right. Jet ski's a boat. I can live on a jet ski.
But I get the question a lot is, it's like home prices have gone up and rates have gone up. It's a bad time to buy. And when I hear that, I really say, well, you're comparing today to 12 to 18 to 24 months ago, which you got to remember during the COVID times when rates hit 2.75%, that's never happened before in history. It's probably not going to happen again. Right. So, and the thing is, none of us have a hot tub time machine where we can go back and buy a house during that time.
Right.
So what you need to compare is what you can buy for today versus, let's say you're going to sign another 12-month lease, you're going to buy next year at this time. I truly believe that if you buy today, your interest rate today will be lower than it is 12 months from now. And I believe the price of that home today will also be less than 12 months from now.
Absolutely.
So I think that this kind of keys in on the flaw in the thinking on this, right? There's 2 categories of things to buy, and people often want to put it all into the one category of, I can treat it like something I just want, right? The boat, absolutely, you can go, you know what? I'm going to wait until the off season where they're blowing out last year's model, that kind of stuff. I don't need it this year. I have the old boat. It's no big deal. Absolutely. But things that you actually need, you should be thinking about, what can I afford in this moment? What is the best move to make right now? The past doesn't really matter.
Right.
No.
It's what information, what numbers do you have on hand? And this is something that Todd talks about all the time on his show from a business perspective. It's, do the numbers work? Do they make sense right now? Doesn't matter if they make sense to someone else. It matters if they make sense for you, and it matters if they just make sense. And if the answer is, 5.5% interest, it's higher than it was a year ago. You missed the boat on that. That's okay. Do the numbers make sense at 5.5%? And for most people, what we're seeing, the answer is resounding yes.
Yep.
Yeah, that's really good advice, Evan. I mean, because, it's just like if a winter storm is coming or whatever, bad weather, and it's going to last. What do? You want to be in a place that, okay, I'm kind of safe in here, and I'm nestled down at home, and I got plenty of beer in the refrigerator, and I got, some food lined up and whatever else, and I can just sit here. And that's kind of, we might have some stormy economic times coming here. So, prepare yourself, not with the wants and buying a whole bunch of boats and all those things. I mean, get a nice home, get things settled down to where if it is stormy, you can weather it. And frankly, if it isn't stormy, well, then fine. You can put some money in the bank, and maybe you'll have more money to buy your boat and some of the wants in future years.
Yeah.
That's
Good
from an
advice.
old guy, you know.
Yeah, and Steve, so just so people know too, Steve, how many you still own a bunch of units, right? Real estate?
Yes, yeah. We used to all total in my life. I've owned or managed probably 3,000 apartment units and probably a couple dozen homes, you know. And now we're just down to 2, and I've got 29 rental townhome units.
So someone who's has lived it, you know what I mean? So Steve, it's not like he's reading books on real estate and then coming on here. He's actually lived real estate, owning units, managing units. Ever since basically the 70s, he's been involved with real estate. So he's got a good grasp on all that stuff. So appreciate you coming and joining us, Steve. Appreciate that.
Yeah, great to be here. Right.
We'll have to get you up here live next time you guys come up here. We'll get you up early and we'll
We'll
get
do
you
that.
live in the studio with us.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll be an enjoyable experience.
Absolutely.
We've only got about
Great.
like a minute left here. I promised people that I would walk them through the claims process, but I'll tell you what, it's not happening. We don't got time. I needed like 5 minutes for it, but honestly, it's boring anyway. But hey, if you want to get in touch with me and if you just got general questions about, like your insurance and stuff, I'm happy to give advice. You can give me a call. 763-443-5664 is me during the week. We're up against the end of the hour.
Kid, if people want to engage with you, what's the best way for people to get a hold of you?
Absolutely. Great question. Thank you, Mike. Telephone number is 612-414-0540. Happy to take any calls, text messages, and help serve those who are either in the real estate business or life coaching. Mike, I know we only have a few seconds, but we also started a leadership and coaching academy. And June 1st, we have we have our first course going live to teach people how to coach and coaches how to coach.
Perfect.
So,
What's your number again? One more time.
612-414-0540.
Excellent. Well, we appreciate you coming on today, Kit, and
Thank
joining
you.
us. Steve, the
it.
Yoda, we appreciate you joining us as
Great
well.
to be here.
And we will be back next Saturday. So every Saturday, 7 to 8, we will be here answering your mortgage, real estate, and insurance questions. And we hope everyone enjoys the weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Go get them.